Alrighty guys, what is going on? It is JT Bricks here, back for another LEGO Star Wars video here today, and we have some big news today, guys. We have a couple of leaked images for some new sets, which include the Tauntaun and AT-AT Microfighter Battle Pack, or Duo Pack, sorry, the X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Imperial Shuttle Tidarium, and obviously a couple days ago I had the video about the Millennium Falcon Microfighter, and we have another image of that. So, like 4 different sets here that we're going to look at, some new images, so let's get right into it. Alrighty, so here's basically just kind of a big overview of what is leaked here on this first kind of magazine page. As you can tell, we have the X-Wing, the TIE Fighter, the Imperial Shuttle, along with in the bottom right there's the Millennium Falcon, and in the bottom left we have the Microfighter Dual Pack. So let's start, I guess, by looking at the TIE Fighter. So just looking at the TIE Fighter, it's pretty much everything that we expected it to be. It looks good, I'm not going to lie, for being like $40. It doesn't look bad at all. Again, it is small, much smaller than the $80 one we got from Solo a couple years back, but I think it looks pretty good, actually. It looks pretty detailed, looks pretty solid. Nothing really stands out as being bad or horrendous, and, you know, for $40, I think that's actually a pretty solid set. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of this whole kind of original trilogy, new wave coming out, but to be honest with you, this TIE Fighter doesn't look like a bad deal for $40, I believe. So, not a bad set there. Obviously, though, we are going to want to see what the minifigures are that are going to be included in this set, so that'll be interesting as well, but still, honestly, not too bad for the TIE Fighter. So next up, this X-Wing here is the Junior's X-Wing, the Resistance X-Wing. It's a Junior set, so, I mean, it's nothing special. Again, it looks something like it's really basic. It doesn't look like anything special. You know, it's got that pretty horrendous cockpit piece, which is like the single, very small piece that doesn't cover the whole cockpit, so that obviously does not look good at all. The cannons are pretty cheap looking, and it just doesn't look like anything special or pretty to look at, so it is a Junior set, so it doesn't matter too much. It just looks like something that a 10-year-old could make with spare Lego parts. I could make, you know. But still, it is a Junior set, so I wasn't really expecting too much, I guess, but it is not a very pretty set, but it looks fine for what it is, I guess. To the right of the X-Wing and TIE Fighter, we can see the Imperial Shuttle, which, again, is also downsized and is cheaper than normal. I mean, it looks fine. It looks kind of small. It looks, I don't know, it doesn't really capture the beauty of the real Imperial Shuttle, you know, or past Imperial Shuttles where they're bigger, you know, they're much more detailed, they look much more accurate. It just looks kind of small and it's just too small in my opinion. I mean, I know it's not going to be big, it's not going to be as good as the older models, but it just looks kind of awkward, looks kind of short and stubby almost. I mean, I know that's what they were going for and it's kind of what it's supposed to be, but I feel like for that reason, it's just not as good as what other Imperial Shuttles have been. And, you know, fair, it's supposed to be like that, but it's not a super attractive looking set. And it doesn't necessarily look horrendous, but it just looks a little bit awkward, especially with the cockpit that looks so small and kind of short. I don't really like it too much, but, I mean, you can take it as you like, but it's just okay. And so also on the far left here, you can kind of see the actual X-Wing we're supposed to be getting on the far left. It's the little red. You can see kind of the nose of it there and part of one of the cannons on it. Again, we can't really tell too much on this image, but it looks like it's in the Death Star run right now. Nothing, you know, like I said, I can't really make out anything about it, but it definitely looks better than the Resistance X-Wing, so that's something, I guess. So next up here we have the Tauntaun, which I think looks fine. Honestly, it looks just like the Bantha Microfighter that we got a year or two ago, something like that. It obviously comes with Luke Skywalker there. It looks fine. I mean, obviously it's never going to look like the molded version. It doesn't look realistic. It looks kind of cartoony, but that's fine. Honestly, I don't really mind it. I think it looks, like I said, just fine. Nothing too special. Next up, we have the AT-AT here, and it looks pretty much the exact same or pretty similar to the old Microfighter AT-AT we got a couple years back. It has the AT-AT pilot and a stud shooter there, and the AT-AT looks fine, I guess. I mean, pretty similar to the old model, maybe a little bit different here and there, but more or less the same. So finally, to end the look at all of these sets here, we have the Millennium Falcon, which this is a pretty blurry picture, but it's more or less the same as what we saw in my other video. It's just the Millennium Falcon with kind of another young Han Solo. He has a brown jacket there. Again, pretty blurry, so we don't know specifically what this Han Solo kind of looks like, but it looks just like a young Han Solo and a Millennium Falcon. The dish looks a little bit different than normal, but other than that, this Millennium Falcon looks pretty much exactly the same as all the other Microfighters, so a little bit disappointed there. Anyways, guys, overall, nothing too surprising or just kind of out there from this. It's pretty much everything that I thought we would see, and I kind of expected this wave to look kind of like this when we heard about the prices and pieces and all that. You know, if there's some good stuff, the TIE Fighter I think looks great. I think that the Microfighter sets look good. I mean, they look like good quality sets, but obviously some of them are Microfighters you've got in the past. That's the only problem, you know. But they do look good. Like, you know, if these are brand new, I think they look great. But again, we've gotten the AT-AT and the Millennium Falcon in the past, so they don't look bad, but it's just we've already got them, and the Millennium Falcon, we've gotten that twice already, so that's a little bit of a lame decision there. The Tauntaun looks good in my opinion, looks fine. The Imperial Shuttle is a little bit lacking. That cockpit just looks really small and really crammed and awkward, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. And the Resistance 4 Plus X-Wing just looks terrible. We can see a little bit of the $50 X-Wing, so, you know, that's something, I guess, but we can't really tell too much about it from this, so I'm not going to jump the gun there and make a conclusion about that set. But other than that, I mean, just kind of meh. Again, not the biggest original trilogy fan as far as Lego goes, so nothing too special there. But there's some good, there's some bad. I mean, overall, it's just kind of average, you know, kind of meh. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time on JT Bricks.